The title of this podcast is Make Hard Work Easier by How You Show Up. This is inspired by a conversation that I had just a few days ago with a friend of mine, and we were talking about the way we grew up. This friend was talking about how her kids don't feel entitled, and a lot of that is because of how she grew up, that her parents made sure that all the responsibilities of taking care of her home were shared throughout the household. Everyone had a responsibility to contribute to the family. And I grew up very similarly. And that is also the way the ToBeRe works, is that everybody makes a contribution, which I'm incredibly grateful for. And it's also the mark of high functioning teams that are wellness centered, that are conscious. And my friend and I talked about the conversation, she asked me about some of the hard work that I experienced when I was a kid. And one of the things I talked about is that we had some land within our extended family in Mississippi, and throughout the year, we would go down and farm this land. As a kid who didn't like hard work, but my parents didn't allow me to express an opinion about whether I liked it or not, I was doing it. I'm grateful for that now, but back then as a kid, I suffered inside because I certainly couldn't express it. And I'm glad they didn't let me express it because I'm the kind of person I am now that shows up in every place looking to how can I contribute? How can I make it better? Um, and I owe that to my mom for sure. In this farm that we had down in Mississippi, my stepfather would often be the person who was leading the farm activity on any given day. So while my friends were spending their summers sleeping in when school was out, or their weekends, organizing tackle football and basketball and all those things, we were spending our time down on the farm doing some pretty hard work. And what I remember about that is that with my stepfather, none of the work was enjoyable. All of it was miserable. And what made it miserable, obviously now I understand that I have my attitude makes a difference in how I experience that. But as a kid, I wasn't conscious of that. What made it difficult with him was how he talked to you, how he treated you. There's never a thank you. If he instructed you to do something, it never came with could you or would you, do you mind doing this? Please hand me that. None of that was part of his communication as he was doling out tasks or uh, issuing instructions. Now, contrast that with another gentleman that I grew up with, and he just happened to go to the same church. His name was Charlie Thomas. I'll never forget him. He had a big family of about 10 to 11 people in his family. He was a patriarch, but he's a man that worked extremely hard, even harder than my stepfather. But it's the way that he went about his work. He led by example. Everything was please and thank you. And as a young kid, I remember if he wanted something, he's like, Keith, I'm about to go out and get on the tractor and do this. Do you mind going with me? Or could you give me a hand? Could you, just give me feedback on how this is going? What do you think about this? I remember feeling like I was a partner. I remember feeling respected and valued. Now, the work was no different. It was hard work when my stepfather was leading it, and it was hard work when Mr. Thomas allowed you to be a co-leader. It was still hard work, the same work. But what made it different was how they showed up to the work. And as I reflected on that in that conversation with my friend, I said, that's how I want to show up in life. I want to be a person that when there's difficult work to be done, and life is full of difficult work, that I'm a person that makes the work easier by how I show up, how I connect, respect people, and serve them. I'm not only serving the task that's in front of me, but how I serve the people that are around me. How do I do that? And that is a reflection on what I have going on inside. I'm trying to build a masterpiece inside, not a perfect, work of art, but a masterpiece. And that I'm taking everything that happens and all the learnings from it about how to do it in a way that is open-hearted, that's kind, that's loving, that's peaceful, that all the things that come with learning those things and having them resonate deeply within me and be just the byproduct of the hard work. I want to be that, those be the elements in which I paint this canvas. And then people hopefully get that from me. So I encourage you to think about what kind of person you are to be around when there's hard work to be done. Are you complaining? Are you resentful? Are you giving it just your basic effort? Not about the things you're passionate about, the things that you don't want to do. How are you showing up for those? And if you find that the way that you show up is wanting, then consider doing something about it. And that includes working on yourself.